No seat for pregnant women in marine conservation? Bring your own then. Please help me to welcome Tasya.
For most Indonesian women, marriage is not an option. The question is not about are you going to marry it, but when. Yeah, in Indonesia, you can ask it anytime, anywhere, without the need to consider the feeling of the person asked. However, once you married, usually it will be followed by pregnancy, delivering, and breastfeeding. Dedicating life for family, unfortunately, still not an option for most Indonesian. Marriage and raising kids was not my thing. Have you seen a pregnant woman or breastfeeding woman working directly in the field of marine conservation? Raise up your hand if you know one. See, it's not much, or even it didn't exist. Long story short, I got married anyway, and still looking for a job in marine conservation, which is hard because most of the opportunities are for male. One of my lecturers asked me to apply in one of the male required positions as a coral reef officer. So I was there, sitting in a classroom. I was the only woman competing with more than 20 male candidates. In a recruitment test for a male required position in a state-owned company, guess what? I'm the winner! Next, I took the medical checkup. My health was all okay, except for one thing. The company found out that I was pregnant. And unfortunately, no seat for pregnant women in that company. I keep searching for jobs, and the story just repeats. I succeed in the writing test, but when I show up with a big belly, sorry, no job for pregnant woman. And you know what? There's another male candidate who perfectly fit for the roles, replacing me. For several weeks, months, I cried. I was trapped in my depression. I hate myself for not having a job, for not even having a confidence. And I hate my baby so much. The thought of ending an innocent life is there. But after delivery, things began to change. I got a job, and I was invited to present my talk in Mexico. So what it is like to live as a married woman, pregnant woman, breastfeeding woman? Is it still possible to work in a marine conservation? Being pregnant doesn't guarantee that I can have the perks. I'm still chasing train, flights, and struggling around the project. Even a few hours straight after the baby delivery, I'm still mentoring my staff. Sometimes I travel for conference and tired with all of the jet lags and hoping for a good night's sleep, but I can't because I have to express my breast milk every 3 hours. Or when I don't have a breast milk stock, I get my baby with me, but it means exposing her to a room full of cigarette smoke. People ask, how can I juggle raising kids and developing new projects without having domestic assistance? Well, either I or my baby will end up in an emergency room. How come? Because I was so burnt out. It means I'm so tired mentally and physically because I always keeping pushing myself to work or do beyond my capability. Now that I have my third child and project is getting bigger and bigger, I have staff to help me with my task and taking of my kids. And I couldn't do all of these things without the big support of my husband. He keeps his promise to support my passion, my career in marine conservation, even though it means he does the cooking. I couldn't do, and believe it or not, I was afraid of marriage in the beginning because I have no role model of married woman in marine conservation. But now, who thought that having kids actually opened up so many opportunities for me? And when I applied as coral reef officer and did not get a job because I was pregnant, I feel that there is no seat for women, especially pregnant or breastfeeding, even though I proved to them that I have the competency. And I'm so happy that I can be an inspiration for more than 20 female staff, friends, and families. And I am sure that so many women out there in Indonesia, or even the world, that sometimes they don't get a seat just because being a woman in exceptional condition. But you know what? You can always bring your own chair. Thank you.